Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So on my previous review of Prince's All Around the World in a Day, I had a few comments saying, do you top 15? Or this is my top 15 and so on. So I thought I'd make a video. Now, before I begin, a certain British rock band from the 70s and the 80s is not on this list. I have gotten flack time and time again. Like, how could you leave out this band? This band's one of the best. They're better than all that, I'm not going to spoil it, but this certain band is not in my top 15. They are incredible artists and amazing, but I don't consider them top 15. And if you do, that's great. So comment them below. But I always get the one comment, like, how could you leave this band out? This band is the greatest band of all time, and So none of that. I'm going to try and condense it. Obviously, 15 bands or artists is quite hard to do in like 10 minutes, but we'll see. And let me know what your list is down below. So we'll get straight into it with a very special group in my mind, ABBA. Now, you go back a year ago, I tell you I'd never listened to ABBA, but now I just adore them, especially I've only really listened to this album, and there's some other things behind me. This got me through quite a hard time, I mean, that surgery I had now 2 months ago, that was the first surgery I've ever had. And I already am a germaphobe. I don't like hospitals, and it was not an easy experience, but they let me play music during the operation, and everyone was singing and dancing to ABBA because it was so their music is so upbeat and happy that it just makes me feel better, and it's just amazing. So that's number 15 is ABBA. Now I've picked out all of my favorite albums by these artists. Now number 14 is on the list for the same reason. Their music just really makes me happy and really makes me, gives me energy. And they're from a similar time period. The Bee Gees with Timeless. I've never actually listened to like an official Bee Gees album. Actually, that's a lie. I've listened to Saturday Night Fever, which is their big disco album. But this is just a flawless masterpiece, if you want to get into the Bee Gees, but you're not a big fan of disco, you need to listen to their 60s stuff, because it's very Beatles-esque, which is, for the time, every record label was trying to find the next Beatles, and their stuff, it does sound like the Beatles, but it sounds amazing, and I absolutely love it. Check out Massachusetts, or To Love Somebody, I've gotta get a message to you. And of course, I like disco music. I'll put it out there, I'm not ashamed. I like disco music. And, I'm not singing that. Staying alive, how deep is your love? More than a woman. It's just so upbeat and catchy. And their vocal harmonies, I would put them up there with, I always say it wrong, Lennon McCartney. They're just amazing. Now, we're completely changing genre. So 15 was ABBA, 14 was Bee Gees, now 13, completely different kind of music. This is not my favourite album of his, but this one just sort of generalizes. We have Eminem, or Slim Shady, or B Rabbity, whatever he wants to call himself. Now, I'm not that big into rap music, but growing up in school, one of my friends was a huge Eminem fan. And, I was 12, so I had to impress him. And that's when I started getting into Eminem. And I love him now. This music, there's a lot of his lyrics are really fucked up, but there are some really heartfelt songs that I do really not agree with, but, I do relate to. And, even the really fucked up songs, like on this one, it starts with Fack. So, by the time this album's coming out, people were saying that Eminem had lost his edge and he wasn't funny or clever anymore. So he starts his best of album with a song called Fack, which is all about I can't say it on YouTube, but yeah, he is definitely 13th on the list. You know, he is amazing. And I know, just in my mind, he's the greatest rapper of all time. But other people have, that's fine if you differ opinion. But he's the only rapper on this list. So, number 12, sorry. I'm dyslexic, shut up. We have David Bowie. This is Black Star, but David Bowie, man. David Bowie started in 1967. His debut album came out the same time as Sgt. Pepper's come out. And that album flopped. It wasn't very good at all. And even David Bowie will tell you it wasn't very good. But he didn't give up. And then he released Space Oddity in the 70s, which just amazing and skyrocketed him. And I love almost all his albums. I love everything about him, you know, his characters, his style, his singing, his lyrics, his guitar work. It's just flawless. And this album, Black Star, is just unbelievable with how good it is. And somebody had messaged me, and I'm not going to get into it, but they were laughing at me because I said this album makes me emotional. And I'm like, screw you. It does. You know, there are songs on this album, mainly Lazarus and I Can't Give Everything Away, that do make me emotional, can make me cry, because it's beautiful. So that was number 12. Now, number 11 on the list is a band from the 90s. They would go into the 2000s, but this is my favourite album from them. And post like the 2000s, I haven't really listened to their stuff. I guess it's just fallen through the cracks for me. But we have Blur with, I think this is their self-titled album, Blur. Beat or bum, she's like a girl. And then of course Song 2 is amazing. Country Sad Ballad Man, I love. Now, what I love of Blur for me is the emphasis of the 90s Britpop scene with songs like Country House, Boys and Girls? Oh, I love boys who like girls who like boys. And what's that other one? Charmless Man. Oh, a charmless man. Of course, Park Life too. You know, these sort of really poppy, pop rock 90s songs that are so catchy and I can't say the word, anthemic. They just keep you, you know, they stay with me. And Blur are a very special band. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, okay, cool. So number 10 on the list is another British band from the 70s, my 10th favourite band, and a band that I believe is incredibly underrated, The Jam. Now, The Jam are my dad's favourite band, and that's where I got into them, you know, from being in the car with him. Paul Weller, and is it Bruce Foxton, is that his name? Yeah, Bruce Foxton. Amazing, amazing musicians, you know. Paul Weller's lyrics are some of the best I've ever heard. You want to listen to, what's it called? English Rose, sorry. And In the Crowd. To be someone must be a wonderful thing. And Down in the Tube Station at Midnight. This is an amazing album. All their albums are fantastic. And Paul Weller would go on to, you know, have a very successful solo career. And another band called the Style Council. Now, quickly, brings up a good point. On this list, if they're in a band, they're not included, so the solo career. So, like, I have The Jam on this list. I can't also have Paul Weller, if that makes sense. Anyway, so that was number 10. Number 9 is an artist that, again, last year, if you said, do you listen to this artist? And I'd go, no, I need to, but I just haven't got around to it. Now, they're just one of the greatest artists of all time. I mean, they're 8th on my list. We have Prince. Now this is just, this album in particular. I love Prince and I love all his albums, but Prince hit something on this album that is not on any of the albums I'm about to show you, or any album ever. This is truly, truly special. And if you've never heard Parade Under the Cherry Moon by Prince, I need you to listen to this album and watch the film because it's great. But this album is just so good. And all of Prince's stuff, it's just, he never stayed on one specific sound. Every album you listen to Prince, it's a bit different. And that's my favourite thing, you know. I said this in the video a few days ago, that Prince can do all these different sounds and still make it sound amazing, you know. And it's just flawless. And this is flawless. So go and listen to this. Number 7 on the list is another British band from the 90s. Now this band is very, very important because without this band, we wouldn't have my favourite band. Stone Roses. This is their first album. With the really, I love, it's very textile, this cover anyway. This band is really good and incredibly underrated. I Want to Be Adored, She Bangs the Drums, Waterfall, Don't Stop, Bye Bye Bad Man, pardon me, Elizabeth My Dear. There's a lot of, their second album as well is amazing. And I just, you know, I believe, this might be wrong, I believe these are the first Britpop band, or what we would now consider 90s Britpop. This lot started it. And, you know, it's just such a good album. And they would go on to inspire my favourite band. Just amazing. Just go and listen to this if you haven't, or you don't believe me. The only thing is, the lead singer, it's not Ian Curtis, Ian Brown. Ian Curtis is Joy Division. Ian Brown is a bit, he's a bit weird. He's a weird dude. So, hang on. I'm so stupid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Right. I struggle with numbers. Shut up. It's number 7th on the list. It's a childhood favourite band. We have Green Day with American Idiot. Now, the amount of childhood memories associated with this album would fill up a whole video in itself. But the lead singer, Billy Joel, is just so talented and his writing is just amazing. This is just fantastic. And again, you know, I grew up listening to Green Day and this next band on the list, and they just, it's just my childhood. I get so, and it's just so good anyway. Like Jesus of Suburbia, the 9-minute epic, Holiday, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, everyone knows that one. Wake Me Up When September Ends, What's Her Name? It's just, you know, amazing. So when I was a kid, we won't get this if you're not British, but when I was a kid, our family had a caravan in Devon that we'd go to every once in a while, or I think it was every summer holiday anyway. And we'd spend obviously a lot of time driving. So there would be albums playing, and this one was the one that my dad liked as well. So we'd always listen to this, and just so many childhood memories. Now, this next band, again, gives me so many good childhood memories. We have Linkin Park with Meteora. Oh, Chester, man. I was heart-wrenched when I found out about Chester. God bless you, Chester. You know, this band, their lyrics, for me, is what sets them apart from any other band on this list. Chester Bennington and Mike Shinoda they've experienced these things, so they were able to write them into their lyrics, and it really makes sense, and it makes something so special. You know, they are a really special band, and the mix of rap and rock on this album and all their albums, well, almost all their albums, is amazing. It's truly something, and it's a shame, you know. God bless Chester. It can't. Their music got me through some really hard times during school and stuff, and to know that Chester is now gone because of something that I had considered doing in the past, it's heartbreaking, you know. So God bless them, and God bless Chester. Chester, this is amazing. And I got really sad. I apologise. Right, my fifth favourite band Yes, sorry, I'm all over the place. We have Joy Division. Now, Joy Division, just, this is not my favourite. Well, Joy Division only have 2 albums, and I can't really decide which one's better. So, I could have either or in my hands right now. But this is their more famous one. This is Unknown Pleasures, and Ian Curtis, his vocals are so dark and depressing, and it's like he's calling out, help me," in every word. And unfortunately, he was, but they captured the sound of depression and anxiety, and this mental health, struggling with mental health sound that no other, well, almost no other band has been able to capture since. And their guitar work, of course, the two remaining members of this band, Bernard Sumner, I think his name is, and I forget what the other one's called, they would go on to form New Order. And, New Order are an amazing post-punk, new wave band. But this is one of the greatest albums of all time. And for me, it's Ian Curtis's lyrics and his really fast, sort of like panicky guitar playing, found on songs like She Lost Control. Just amazing. So they were number 5. Now we're in the top 4. So my 4th favourite band is, drumroll please, The Smiths. I'm sure that wasn't much of a surprise. Now this is my favourite. This is the first album I ever picked up on vinyl, so it's really special. Well, I saw this and I thought I'll get this one because, when you're starting out, you're not really sure what you should do, but everything about the Smiths are perfect. From Morrissey's sad and depressed lyrics to his vocal, he's got a very diva-ish voice, and his vocals are superb. To Mars guitar playing, who is just a superb guitar player. I need to get a coffee. Just amazing. I don't think there's anyone out there who hasn't heard of the Smiths, but if you've never listened to this album, you definitely need to. I'm trying to speed myself up a bit because it's already 17 minutes. My favourite Smiths song is There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, which is on this album. And I also have the special edition one, but this one's more special to me anyway. Right, top 3. Now, my 3rd favourite band is they're the kings of psychedelic rock. And their lead singer changed 3 times. But throughout their whole career, through the 3 different eras they had, they were just on top with the psychedelic sound. And for me, this was the best album they'd done. We have Pink Floyd with Wish You Were Here, which I always take the opportunity to show my tattoos. There we go. I love that. This album means a lot to me. From just the spatial and washed out Shine On You Crazy Diamond, to the actual song Wish You Were Here. It really does. It means a hell of a lot to me. I won't get into it, but there is someone I miss a lot, and that was the emphasis for the tattoo. And that song reminds me of them, and I wish they were here. And then Shine On You Crazy Diamond. My God, these guys were the best at synths and guitar, these long guitar passages that just blow my mind. When I put this record on, that opening guitar riff, the do-no-no-no, chill. I get so many chills. They are just such an amazing, amazing band. And the Roger Waters era, of course, Syd Barrett. I must mention Syd Barrett. His stuff is amazing. But then Roger Waters takes over, and you have, I believe they call it like the top 4, or the 4 best albums. You have Dark Side of the Moon, this one, Animals, and The Wall. Roger Waters is a huge dick now, but his writing skills and his musical skills are unmatched, I swear. So just amazing. So, my 2nd favourite band, drumroll please, you probably know who it is. Cough, cough, cough. We have the Beatles with Revolver. Now, I wish I had a Revolver t-shirt, but I don't. Also, my Oasis one is in the wash. Anyway, Beatles, just flawless. For me, this was the first Beatles album I ever got into, and it really just means a lot to me. But John Lennon and Paul McCartney's harmonies, their lyrics, their guitar work, George Harrison's amazing guitar work, Ringo Starr's drumming, just easily the second for me, right, this is my opinion, they are my second favourite band because they just, it's the Beatles. What can I say about the Beatles, the Fab Four? And my trip to Liverpool was just amazing. If you like the Beatles, then I would definitely recommend the pilgrimage to Liverpool. Now, I think I've already given it away. I have. I haven't been, my favourite, but everyone knows my favourite band. And the band that I put above all the rest. We have Oasis. We have Definitely Maybe. Now, my favourite song of all time is on this album. Live Forever. This is controversial, but I prefer What's the Story, Morning Glory as an album. But this has my favourite song on it. For me, Noel Gallagher's songwriting, for me, just hits the mark. It hits the spot. There's something in me that Noel Gallagher's songwriting really just connects to. And on an emotional level, it really hits me. With songs like Sad Song and Live Forever and Rock and Roll Star, Supersonic, Bring It On Down, Cigarettes and Alcohol, Married with Children. I could go on. There's about 1,000 different Oasis songs that I relate to. And in Liam Gallagher's singing, I know it's not for everyone, but for me, it's my favourite singing voice. He is my favourite singer. He's got this really, really raunchy and down in the vocal range voice that I believe just is so unique and expressive. And then he's got the attitude to back it up, especially in the 90s, especially, this period, getting thrown off ferries for getting in a fight and being banned. So, fun story. It might be a different guitar, but the guitar that Johnny Marr used to write this album, he gifted to Noel Gallagher when they were starting Oasis. And then one day, a fan gets on stage, starts wrestling with Liam Gallagher. So Noel gets the guitar and goes whoosh on the fan's head and breaks the guitar. And then asks for Johnny Marr for another one, which I thought was always funny. But yeah, Oasis are my favourite band of all time. I absolutely love them. So I hope you enjoyed the list. I hope you were able to follow along. Thank you if you've watched this far, because this is a long video. But yeah, if you have your own list, please comment them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Take care, everyone.